The diplomatic gallery of the celestial concordat hummed with 1,000 voices, none of them human. Marcus Chen stood alone near the observation deck, nursing a glass of something the Vrexian ambassador had assured him was compatible with human biology. He didn't feel compatible with anything in this place. "Remember," Ambassador Williams had told him before the reception, her face grave, "under no circumstances are you to approach Princess Kalith." The Velkari consider direct address from a junior species to be an unforgivable insult. Junior species. That's what humanity was in the eyes of the Concordat. They discovered faster than light travel only 30 years ago. Mere infants compared to civilizations that had been traversing the stars for millennia. Earth had been granted observer status, nothing more. They were here to watch, to learn, and above all, to not embarrass themselves. Marcus had nodded, memorized the protocols, and promised to be invisible. Now, watching the princess glide through the crowd like liquid starlight, he understood why the warnings had been so severe. She was the heir to the Velkari Dominion, an empire that spanned 300 systems. Her people had been shaping galactic politics since before humans discovered fire. One wrong word from him could set back Earth's integration by decades. The princess's skin shimmered with bioluminescent patterns that shifted with her mood, currently displaying what his briefing had called diplomatic serenity. Her 4 eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern on her elegant face, missed nothing as she moved through the assembly. Delegates from a dozen species practically threw themselves in her path, each hoping for a moment of her attention. She ignored them all. Marcus turned back to the observation window, gazing at the neutron star that the station orbited. Out here, Earth seemed impossibly far away. He thought about his daughter, about her last words before he'd left. "Bring me back a story, Dad, a real one." "The view is remarkable, is it not?" The voice came from beside him, melodic with harmonics that seemed to resonate in his chest. Marcus froze. He didn't need to turn to know who had spoken. "Your Highness," he managed, keeping his eyes forward. His heart hammered. "I was told that you should not speak to me." She moved closer, her reflection appearing in the glass beside his own. "I am aware of what you were told. I am the one who suggested such protocols." Marcus's throat went dry. "Then I apologize for any—" "You misunderstand." Princess Kalith's bioluminescence flickered. His briefing material hadn't covered that pattern. "The protocol was not meant to protect me from you, human. It was meant to protect you from the others." She gestured subtly toward the gathered dignitaries. "Do you see how the Craxian hierarchy watches us now? How the Stellarch Collective's representatives have stopped their conversations? In this moment, Marcus Chen of Earth, you are the most dangerous being at this gathering." "I don't understand." 3 hours ago, the Dominion's intelligence service decoded a Craxian transmission. They plan to block Earth's petition for associate membership. They consider humans too unpredictable. Her voice carried something that might have been amusement. Too prone to emotional decision-making. Too willing to act against logical self-interest. Marcus finally turned to face her. "And you're telling me this because I have spent the last cycle studying your species." The princess's eyes met his, all 4 of them, and Marcus felt the weight of her attention like a physical force. "Studying your history, your wars, your literature, your ridiculous tendency to form bonds with creatures from other species and call them pets." Despite himself, Marcus smiled. "That does sound pretty illogical when you put it that way. It is perhaps the most logical thing I have ever encountered." Her patterns shifted again, definitely not in his briefing. "Every species in the Concordat operates on pure rational self-interest. We form alliances that can be calculated, predict behaviors through cold logic. But humans?" She turned to face the crowd. "Humans befriend the stray, fight for the underdog, charge into burning buildings for strangers. Your Highness, I'm just a junior attaché. I don't— You are more than that now." She placed something in his hand. A crystalline data chip. "In 30 seconds, you will walk to the central podium and request emergency assembly time. You will present the evidence on that chip, evidence of the Craxian plot, but also of 17 other schemes to manipulate the Concordat's newer members." Marcus stared at the chip. "If I do this, it'll cause a diplomatic crisis. Yes, it will also demonstrate that humans cannot be easily intimidated or controlled. That you act on principle even when it defies logic. Her bioluminescence blazed suddenly, bright enough to draw every eye in the gallery. The Velkari Dominion has remained neutral in concordant politics for 3 centuries. But we remember what it was like to be the junior species, to be dismissed and underestimated. She began to walk away, then paused. Your daughter asked for a story, yes? Tell her about the day a human stood before the powers of the galaxy and reminded them that strength is not always measured in years or territories. Why? Marcus called after her. Why risk your neutrality for us? Princess Kalith looked back, and her bioluminescence displayed a pattern that needed no translation. It was a smile, universal and warm. Because 300 years ago, a Craxian explorer ship crash-landed on an uninhabited world in our territory. The logical action was to let them perish. They were invaders, after all. But we saved them instead. We called it mercy. Looking at human history, I believe you would call it something else. What? Being decent. She gestured toward the podium. 20 seconds, Marcus Chen. Show them what a junior species can do. Marcus looked at the chip, then at the assembled powers of the galaxy. He thought about his daughter, about Earth, about all the humans who would come after him to these halls. He walked toward the podium. Behind him, Princess Kalith's bioluminescence pulsed with a pattern that meant hope. But only humans, with their strange emotional instincts, would have recognized it as such. The galaxy was about to learn what humanity already knew. Sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't logic or strength. Sometimes it's just giving a damn.